Hello everyone, welcome back to the workshop. Today we're going to be doing a bit of old school work. We're going to be machining a forging, not forging and machining. We're going to be doing it horizontally on the K&T with high-speed steel cutters and plenty of cutting oil. So let me bring you in here and show you what we got and show you what we're going to be doing today. This is kind of a continuation of my last video of machining that cross slide and a lot of cast iron horizontal milling. This here is going to be a die set for that cross slide. It's going to fit into the T-slot, and it will be a combination of flat dies and rounding dies. This is a chunk of forklift tine that I squished down essentially and drew out just a little bit. It used to be maybe 1 1/4 inches thick. I machined it down for a different project, but now it's closer to 1.5 inches thick. It used to be about 8 inches long, and now it's closer to 10. It used to be about 6 inches thick. Now it's closer to 3.5. So what I need to do is flatten the top of this, put 2 grooves in the side, or flatten the top and the bottom of this, put 2 grooves in the side so it fits in the T-slot. I need to machine away a small notch over here so it can fit. I'll show you. I need to machine away a small notch, and I need to put a good radius in 1/2 of it. So let me show you the horizontal milling. A quick word on building arbors. Because I'm going to be doing multiple operations to this workpiece, I've set up multiple cutters. Now, I could use just one cutter. I could use just my 6" by 1" horizontal milling cutter, 6" diameter, 1" wide. I could use that to surface the top and the sides. However, I've been using that cutter quite a bit, and so I would like to transfer some of the wear to my other cutters, so I'm not using just one. So, because of that, I have a 3" in diameter by 1" wide cutter here, and a 1/2" wide cutter by 4" diameter one here. The 1" wide cutter will surface the top, and the 1/2" wide will not only cut the sides, but also the slots for the T-slot and the cross slide. I position them in such a way that they are the minimum distance away from the column. There's enough clearance between the 2 cutters to do all the work that they each need to do respectively, and I positioned the arbor bushing as close as I physically could without interfering with the work. I'm going to be putting the workpiece in this vise. A vise in this direction is not the strongest way to hold a workpiece for horizontal milling. All of the forces, and there's a tremendous amount of force when you're milling horizontally, much more than whenever you are milling vertically. All of the force is in this axis, the same axis as the cutters. Kind of obvious. Because of this, there's nothing but friction stopping this workpiece from sliding out. I'm going to have to be quite careful and make sure I'm not taking super heavy cuts, and make sure that this workpiece doesn't go flying. And also, a couple of rules with building an arbor. Keep your cutters, the distance between your support and your column, as short as possible. I don't do that all the time, but I really should. Also, never ever tighten these with a wrench unless your arbor support is on there and the bushing is tightened. You need to make sure that everything is very well supported before you go wrenching on the end of this knot. You don't really need to put a Herculean, you don't need to put a tremendous amount of force on it, but if you have a really bent arbor, more force can help straighten it out if all of your spacers are parallel. Make sure your arbor bushing is very well oiled, very well oiled. If it's not very well oiled, it'll get very hot. Always sit there and just feel the support. If it starts getting warm, or incredibly warm, if it's a little warmer and it's not getting any worse, that's okay. But if it's really hot after a while, oil it, maybe back it off, figure out why it's getting hot, because it shouldn't be, period. And naturally, you guys saw my failures in the last video if you watched it. Make sure every single lock is tightened down. On this particular K&T, there are 3 1¼ inch nuts, one for the arbor support and 2 for the overarms themselves. Make sure they're tight and clean. Well, I guess I didn't hit record. And so now all I gotta do is flip it over and machine the bottom and then machine the 2 slots. And I will make sure I hit record on those. that's this pair of combo dies pretty much done. Now I'm going to go take it outside, put it in a vise, and start working on it. And I'll bring you guys back when I have this in the machine. Forgot to put in that notch so it'll fit into the T-slot better. So I'm going to do it in just a couple of passes. 8" by 1" high-speed steel cutter, 35 RPM. Let's see if she'll do it. Now, forging dies are on the press. On the cross slide at least. They're not quite mounted yet, but they fit. And now I can sit there and switch between combo die, or between rounding dies and flat dies without an issue. And there's enough room on this cross slide to move all the way over to a spring swage for closed die work, or whatever I want all the way over here. This one's broken. It makes a little knob. I accidentally broke this one, but I'll repair it soon and get to making some knobs. But I'm stoked to have these dies here. I was worried about the cast iron, but I think these will work. Well, that's that project finished. That's something I've been needing to do for quite a while. Even before I had the lathe cross slide, I really needed a good set of combo dies. The next thing I'll be working on from the channel is getting Power Hacksaw running. It's been a while. I've just kind of left it there and kind of walked away for a little bit. Partially to work on the truck, partially because I lost interest for a second there because it was just so frustrating. There's a couple of things I still need to work out on it, but I'm pretty sure I can still get a decent saw out of it. Again, I wish I had spent more time at the drawing board with that machine. And then after that, I'm going to be building a universal grinder. What I mean by universal is basically anything within a 6" by 12" by probably 10" space. I should be able to grind it within a couple of tenths. Surface grinding, cylindrical grinding, tapers, and all kinds of things like that. Tool and cutter grinding for lathe tools and for milling tools. I'd like to be able to sharpen at least probably an 8 to a 10" horizontal milling cutter. Reasonably speaking, I'll very rarely do that. I would say 6" is the largest horizontal milling cutter I would sharpen regularly, but still, I want the capability. I'm also going to be doing a bit more forging. Hopefully the next video will actually be some forging, me forging with those combo dies and also making some knobs and such for my truck using those closed dies I showed you. I'm stoked to have the cross slide on the forging press and functional, have it be a functional tool, instead of a 200-pound chunk of cast iron that's just kind of floating around. There's still a couple of kinks I need to work out with it. It bends in weird ways. The frame it's sitting on, not the cast iron itself, bends in weird ways, and you can end up with lopsided forgings, which are kind of annoying, but you can work around it. Please like and subscribe if you like this video, and have a good day.